Hello, everyone, and welcome again to another Teacher Joseph podcast. The weather today is a little bit cold here in the UK. Autumn is coming in, but everything is fine. Today, I'd like to talk to you about crime in central London. Now, some of you who have had lessons with me in the past have this idea that London is a place paved with gold and perhaps doesn't have crime, and we all sit around having tea at 5 o'clock, which, as I've mentioned before, we don't do actually. But anyway, you might find some of us rushing to get a coffee on the way home to keep us awake while we run for a train at 5 p.m. after work. But anyway, moving on from that, for those of you who have this kind of romantic view of London, or those of you who've actually been here in the past, you might want to know that yesterday, late in the evening, 2 policemen were stabbed in a street called Great Windmill Street, which is just off Leicester Square. Now, this is important for a couple of reasons. First of all, because hopefully it shows you that London is not a kind of like city where we all wear suits and smile politely while drinking tea and saying hello to each other. And the second reason is just to make you aware that crime in central London is a big problem. And that can't be ignored. So even in this time where we have the Queen who is lying in state, waiting to be buried, not everyone is mourning. Pubs are open as usual. And even in Theatreland, which is effectively where Great Windmill Street is, crime still happens. So if you are coming to the UK or if you just moved to London, please just be aware that if you're out late at night alone, you're not immune. You're not immune. So you need to just be aware of what's around you, who's around you, where you can go, and how to get home. Crime in central London happens all the time, but to put that into a kind of positive note, the last time I was in central London, I lost my phone and my wallet. I left them sitting on a bus, actually. And I kind of like waved goodbye to them and assumed I would never see them again until the bus garage contacted me to say that they had them. Now, when I say that they contacted me, what I mean to say is I obviously was tracking where my phone was, and I could see it ended up in a bus depot or garage. So it wasn't like they came running up the road, beating a path through the bushes to return my phone. I had to, of course, contact them and say, I can see my phone is with you. Can I have it, please? And they had my wallet as well. So you can see that there is a good side to London. There are good people around. I think these days, phones, of course, as soon as we cancel them, they're dead, aren't they? They can't work anymore, so people know, or maybe people just feel the importance of how important phones are. But stabbing a policeman, well, that's something else, isn't it? That's a little bit different. The whole story is on the BBC. I think that the problem with the way the BBC have written this particular story, it sounded like the men were dead. It said, first of all, 2 men were stabbed in central London. And then it said, their families have been informed. And so I thought, well, if the police have told their families, then they must be dead then, because that's what our police do. They come and tell you when a relative has died. But actually, no, the policemen are actually fine. So I don't know what the whole bit about telling their family is for. Their conditions aren't even life-threatening. Maybe it's just because they were injured in service, maybe, while they were working. I don't know. Maybe it's just to let the families know that they'll be coming home late. I don't know, but it was a little bit of a strange story, that's for sure. So, coming to London, be very careful. Crime. Still a big problem everywhere, of course. But please don't think that the UK is immune to that, because it certainly isn't. And you really do need just to be aware of where you are at all times. Anything involving alcohol is always going to be a little bit uncomfortable, because it means that you're jolly, happy, and skipping your way home, but you just don't know who else is around you. So you need to be careful. There we are. That's it from me. So enjoy your day and have a safe and peaceful evening. Yes. Bye-bye.